I'll be mid here.
Okay.
Q, I know.
Your guys' job is to make sure that the laptop stays there. It doesn't do anything crazy.
There we go.
We're gonna try.
You guys ready to play? Wow, we're ready.
Two buzzers.
You guys have to share buzzers.
Good game.
Okay.
Good game. Good game. All of you. Good game. Good game.
Fair play.
I mean, it's fine. I'll deal.
Alright, we're doing this official here. I got the official score sheets and everything, so. Here we go.
Good luck.
Good sportsmanship right away.
So what's
Golden,
the
are you on a
button
team?
that has the big one?
Are you on a team at all?
I'm just hosting.
Are we the second or the third? We're the finals.
Alright. And once we start the round 2, I'm just going to ask everybody to try and keep it quiet so that they can hear the questions. Okay? Can you make sure, is that recording by the way? Are we?
Stop recording is an option, so that means we
We're
don't have the option to start
good.
recording.
Alright, so I'll do a buzzer check here. Buzz in and give me your name in order, please. Go ahead. Buzz in. It's Quiz Bowl, man. You got to buzz in. There we go. Hit that buzzer.
Pucci.
Pucci.
Nailed it.
5 points. Q.
Q.
That's how we say it too.
Yeah. And that is the Bolt crew, ladies and gentlemen. Brief round of applause. Okay. There we go.
Hey, thank you.
Over here.
Bubbles. Bubbles.
Bubbles is here.
MaturedSinner.
MaturedSinner. Go ahead and buzz in.
Kariohki?
Kariohki's here. And
I know. How many times am I going to hear this?
fire alarms.
If there's actually a fire, we're not going to know.
We have 750 reports. That's not a low number.
All right, are we all ready for the first game?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so again, just a reminder, if you buzz in really early, you get 15 points. Take a little longer, you get 10. If you buzz in, give me a wrong answer while the question is still being read, you lose 5. And lock your team out. Yeah.
Can we put?
You don't have to buzz in to ask me a question.
Can we keep our hand above the button?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Okay.
But you're sharing with the person next to you, so
Okay.
do your best here. I don't have the fancy buzzer setups yet, but we'll get there. I can reach you. All right, everybody ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Question 1. This character hits for less damage if you wear a sweater while fighting him. Blue polygons jut from this man who is bathed in a yellow outline in the game's box art. The text at the end of the game reads, "Is this character really dead? We're not telling." After being hit 7 times, this character says, "You win, for now." He must be confronted within 1 minute of a countdown that begins at arbitrary moments. Of the 6 playable characters, Mark is the closest in foot speed to this man, whose floating Medusa head mother can be killed once per day. For 10 points, name this character who must be fended off by camp counselors lest he kill all the children. The hockey mask wearing antagonist. Who's that over there?
That's Jason.
Yeah, you got it for 10. Wow.
That was a weird one.
Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Wait, make us look dumb. Man, we're stupid. Oh, the hockey mask.
I'm sorry,
All right, toss up 2.
8 people went for it with the hockey mask.
So toss up 2. If we do discussions between every question, we'll be here till
Well, don't bring Spike.
Toss up 2. In one level of this game, a glitch kills the music and messes up the rendering of the pen maker, and you shoot down individual bubble-like eggs and kill the tadpoles inside. The penultimate boss, Pucci?
Umihara Kawase.
That's -5.
Tadpole! I know.
You guys can buzz in whenever you want.
I know,
Take your
Tadpole.
sweet time.
I'll keep reading. The penultimate boss of this game moves around on 2 giant pins. After traveling back to 4 already cleared levels to beat 8 powered-up bosses from the last game, the protagonist of this game learns that the antagonist ran off with 8 crystals to fuel Gamma, destroying his pretense of redemption. Series mainstays introduced in this game include a character who announces his presence with a whistle, the ability to slide, and the protagonist's doggy sidekick Rush.
Yeah.
For 10 points, yes.
Mega Man.
I need more.
Can anyone else on my team answer?
Why didn't you wait until the end of the questions?
That's too long. It's Mega Man 3. Nope.
Come on.
You gotta buzz him before.
Well, I know, but you
It wasn't me, dude.
All right, here we go. Toss up 3. In this city, a peeing gangster is knocked out by a man who yells, "You have the right to soak in your own urine." In that Luxaflux designed game set in this city, the death of Henry Wilson haunts Rosie Velasco's loose cannon partner Nick Kang. In another game set here, popcorn cups at the Black Caesar Food Hut hide morphine needles, and a sudden explosion alerts you to Nicholson Electroplating Company. This city's red lipstick, golden butterfly, and silk stocking murders were all the work of the same serial killer. In this city, Cole Phelps uses facial cues to tell if people are lying. Yes?
It's LA.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
And just so you know, you guys can't talk about like what you're going to answer.
Okay.
No, you got this
All right.
All right, you're good. You didn't get it. All right, here we go. Question 4. In one game by this developer, you taunt George Washington into chopping down a kumquat tree. You lose many items after riding the Cone of Tragedy in another of this developer's games, in which you find a dinosaur tooth, a vortex globe, a soiled pillow, and a John Muir zucchini. In another game by this developer, mixing cereal and gunpowder in a cooking pot takes you to the title location, where you pick the correct retort to insults to win a sword fight.
Ron Gilbert?
No, that's Nick 5. And I'll keep reading for you guys.
Yeah, hold on.
The ghost pirate LeChuck is...
Monkey Island.
No, that's also wrong. It's
LucasArts.
LucasArts.
Oh, he's the designer.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
It's not over.
You had me a kumquat.
Here we go, toss up 5. One character in this game mutters, "I'm all alone," curling up against a black background, forcing you to button mash to advance. A side quest in this game tasks you with promoting either the Argent or Open Air companies. This game tries to punish you for grinding on a specific enemy type by making future enemies of that type oversold. Early in this game, you must choose to return the Awesome Sphere either to a faction led by Baralai or one led by Nuge. At its start, LeBlanc impersonates...
Final Fantasy X2?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my gosh.
I knew that.
It sounded so familiar, but it
As soon
wasn't.
as I heard LeBlanc.
Video game?
Toss up 6. Isai invented the greenhouse combo, which this character can pull off in the tent of Hyrule Castle. Along with Samus and Donkey Kong, this character inflicts the most damaging back throws. In the subspace emissary, Samus frees this character from the research.
Who is Pikachu?
That's good for 15 points.
Pikachu.
All right.
Jeopardy answer.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
What is Pikachu?
Who is Pikachu?
All right, everybody. Here we go. Toss up 7. This game defines a metric of attractiveness called erotic units, which is 16 for Danny Trejo and 0 for Gilbert Gottfried. You use metal detectors on onions, tomatoes, and cucumbers as part of a lengthy puzzle set in this game's Bee Garden. Eventually, the protagonists of this game disarm 4 antimatter bombs planted by the terrorist organization Myrmidon. In this game, people perceive...
What is Virtue's Last Reward?
That's right, for 15 points.
I was very bad.
The obscure.
You know every answer. Great.
You gotta buzz in.
Okay, toss up 8. In one game from this series, you must trigger 5 locks within 5 minutes. Later in this series, you drop a vial of a girl's blood down a drain and incinerate her sleeping gown to expel her ghost from an orphanage. A plot to give out masks known as servants to rich noblemen is foiled in the second game from this series, whose first entry was the first game that Ken Levine worked on. You journey into the expansive Lost City to find talismans in the first game, in which you give the eye to Constantine, who reveals himself to be the trickster. You infiltrate the Hammerite Church in the first game of this series, The Dark Project. For 10 points, name this trilogy of stealth games starring the blackjack-wielding Garrett, who steals stuff. Bosscrab.
Thief?
Yeah, that's right, for 10 points.
All right. Who steals stuff?
He steals stuff. I guess it's thief.
Toss up 9. Toss up 9. This planet's defense network was destroyed by several bile launchers. Horace Warfield was dispatched to deal with a sneak attack on this planet in Media Blitz, in which the Odin is used to trash one of three bases, consequence-free. 2 years after the assassination of its leader Angus, this planet experienced the extermination of all its life when it was obliterated by 1,000 nukes. This planet is the setting of a mission that can be won either by destroying physics labs or nuclear silos. Augustgrad is the capital city of this planet, which lends its name to a resistance movement that toppled the Confederacy and established the Terran Dominion. For 10 points, name this planet from StarCraft, whose sons were led by Arcturus Mengsk. I don't even know. Like,
What?
Do StarCraft players like play for the lore? Because I don't know. The right answer is Core Hall. I don't know.
I knew the game.
Yeah.
Build us five.
Asking for the planets. Brutal. All right, here we go. Quiet down here. Question number 10. Fall damage can be avoided in this game with careful usage of a laser trip bomb. An amusing glitch enabled adept players of this game to move forward while continually kicking with both legs. This was the first game in its series to let the player use a namesake stationary hologram and speed-boosting steroids. This game, whose lunar second episode ends with the killing of the Overlord, lets you tip strippers as the protagonist says, "Shake it, baby."
Duke Nukem.
I need more.
Duke Nukem 3D.
Yes.
All right.
You got it for 10.
Hell yeah.
All right, next question. Toss-up 11. Pretty much every enemy in this game also exists in real life, except for a dark yellow mutant and a fireball that emerges from the floor. From logs in this game, one can learn that a landing on the asteroid Argos was complicated by the discovery of Substance X. A combination lock puzzle must be solved before reaching every supply station in this game. A non-negligible amount of time in this game is spent adjusting the ballast. Getting hit by enemies or solving math problems wrong depletes the player of oxygen, which can be recovered by running into Zoom, an awesome dolphin. For 10 points, name this learning company game in which you pilot a submarine around collecting capsule parts on the cavernous ocean floor. I've never heard of this game either, so... It's Operation Neptune?
I don't know.
That's a tough one. All right. Well, nobody got that one. I don't play.
I'm not going to be.
All right. Toss up 12. In one game, this task is accomplished merely by waiting around for several in-game years, but you get a game over for doing it. In another game, it's done by luring a character to a moat near several ship cannons. A nearby character shouts, "Yancey Goldman will pay," after this task is accomplished by double-clicking a gold plaque at noon. In perhaps the most fitting way to accomplish this task, you can bake bread with rat poison and then exchange it with the target's meal. In the least subtle way to accomplish this goal, you can surround the target's throne with powder kegs and ignite them in a 1990 game. For 10 points, name this task in which you exploit the secret mortality of the invulnerable ruler of Britannia in the Ultima series.
What?
I didn't understand a word of that.
So
They're looking for killing the king or killing Lord British.
That's all you have to say?
Yeah.
I could tell it was
All right. Forget that one ever happened. We got a better one here. Toss up 13.
Okay.
One character in this game skewers video game cliches by summarizing its plot as boy meets girl, boy gives girl flower, boy names girl, what's wrong with the world? The least likable character in this game is probably the mayor of Freehaven, and the second least is probably the doctor who tells bad jokes. In this game, a leader who can restore 3 HP to all units dies after the city he is holed up in is bombed, soon after which Tasha and Gage defect. The useless duster plane was introduced in this game, which focuses on a man-made virus that causes flowers to grow on victims, engineered by Doc...
Oh, crap.
I can't. It's too long. That's -5. All right, we'll keep reading. The flowers to grow on its victims, engineered by Dr. Calder. At its beginning, Brenner and...
Advance was Days of Ruin.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
I knew it when he said Tasha, but...
Advance Wars, Days of Ruin. Toss up 14. Here we go. Toss up 14. In one game, a deep-sea exploration team notices this character standing on the bow of a sunken ship. One of this character's moves is described as so powerful that it could cleave Ayer's rock in half. This character's signature move is usually performed by mashing light punch, forward, light kick, heavy kick. In one game, this character relocates to Kiga Cavern after his island was destroyed, following a battle with Ryu. This character embraced the more lethal aspects of Gotetsu, unlike his older brother Goken.
Akuma.
Yeah, that's right.
You guys gotta just...
I didn't know his name.
Yeah.
Toss up 15. Toss up 15. This character starred in a rare pinball game in which 2 pairs of flippers are arranged in an X formation. In one game, this character's enemies include the Meltniks, Subops, and Rat-a-tat-tats. His designer actively encouraged the emulation of a canceled game which introduced his female counterpart as an enemy, that was titled Faster, Harder, More Challenging, This Character. This character is impeded in his task by 3 purple creatures named Ugg, Wrong Way, and Coily, and by 2 green gremlins that undo his progress named Slick and Sam. This character loves swearing, producing speech balloons with nonsense.
Hubert.
That's right.
Nice.
That's right. All right, 5 questions to go. Toss up 16. This feature creates a message beginning, "Good birds don't fly away," and translates into the Degrade affliction in the Arma series. Crisis Warhead provides another example of birds, namely chickens, suddenly appearing in conjunction with this kind of feature. As a result of this feature, players have to deal with a fast pink scorpion in the first level of Serious Sam 3.
It's like a cheap protection. It's like what do they call it? It's like DRM.
I need to hear something else.
Jeez.
I can't take it.
Yeah,
-5. I'll keep reading for you guys though. As a result of this feature, players have to deal with the fast pink scorpion in the first level of Serious Sam 3. A fascinating meta example of this feature appears in Game Dev Tycoon, bankrupting your company. In Michael Jackson The Experience, this feature triggers a Vuvuzela fanfare, and in Earthbound, it manifests just before the final battle, freezing your screen and deleting all your saves. For 10 points, name these built-in measures that inhibit your progress in illicit copies of games.
Pirating prevention of some sort.
Buzz in.
Oh.
Yeah, you got it.
Pirating prevention?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't forget
Anti-piracy.
Yeah.
There's like an abbreviation for it. Was that
I need to
like,
hear piracy.
was that like the answer you were looking for? Was like the 4 letters?
Like DRM?
DR, yeah, whatever that.
That's what I said.
You were going for copy protection, but if you gave me that, I needed to hear anti-piracy. So.
Oh, specifically piracy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, 4 questions left. Here we go. Toss up. What am I on?
I don't know.
Oh, we know.
We just got that.
You got that for 10. My bad. I got the wrong number. You're good. Okay, toss up 17. Throwing the wrong fruit at a certain enemy causes this thing to say, ineffective. It is just laughing at you. This thing is used on the 8 teeth of the boss Ely Mouth. This character depressingly asks, was I of assistance?
What is flood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flash, liquidizing, some.
Okay.
I've played that one.
Toss up 18. All right, toss up 18. We're almost done here, guys. In this game, typing the birds makes tiny seagulls appear. As with all cheat codes, Alt-Control-Shift-C must simultaneously be pressed first. The most famous media appearance of Helsinki Cathedral is in an update of this game, which penalized you for canceling neighbor deals. In this game, such phrases as original Magna Carta found written on large broccoli stalk and semicolon declared sexier than comma at grammarian's fate appear on the news ticker. The waste management mechanic was added in this game, whose advisors were the first in the series to give actual advice beyond cutting funds. That's Pucci.
SimCity 2000.
No, it's not right. -5.
I would have gone for that.
And I'll finish the question here. Whose advisors were the first in the series to give actual advice beyond cutting funds. This 1999 game removed a lot of natural disasters from its 1994 precursor. For 10 points, name this third SimCity game.
SimCity 3.
No, it's...
Nobody else was.
If you put it together, you had it. SimCity 3000.
I would have said 2002. Yeah.
Good try.
I liked it, Bubbles.
All right. No penalty there. No penalty there for the wrong answer. All right, toss up 19. After pulling a lever in this game, if you look down at the water for 1 minute, you can see a giant squid swimming by. The barking of an off-screen dog can often be heard when firing a gun in this game. Yves Simoneau directed 3 short films subtitled Lineage to promote this game. Poison characters in this game dance themselves to death, a fate befitting the bards that block your passage. The protagonist of this game collects feathers for his mute, grieving mother, who lost her husband and sons to the treachery of Uberto Alberti, and brings codex pages to Leonardo da Vinci for weapon upgrades in Firenze and later Venezia.
Assassin's Creed
Is incorrect for -5.
He wasn't
I'll
finished.
finish reading. For 10 points, name the sequel in which Desmond Miles lives through the memories of Ezio Auditore. That's Q.
Assassin's Creed 2.
That's the one. Mild applause. All right, final toss-up of the game. Toss-up 20. One game in this series added a set of quests that enable you to update a hot spring and remove the unpopular Dragon Blight status effect from a previous entry. Another game in this series introduced the Switch Axe, which can either be a sword or an axe. A cat-like race in this series whose members can act as...
Monster Hunter?
Is right for 15.
Oh my god. I was gonna say
All right, that is the end of the game, so let's see what we got for score here. We have, let's see.
I think we lost.
There's no way you guys lost. It's impossible. No, it's not. You destroyed us.
Is there a tiebreaker?
There is if there's a tie. All right, you guys had 70 points over here.
They got a bunch of like 15s though.
Let's see.
Yeah, but -5s.
Yeah.
Let's see. -5, 25, 35. The final score was 70 to 55, so both crew advances. Unfortunately, you guys are
Good game, guys.
All right.
job.
Careful as you switch out here.
Yeah, dude. No read, dude.
The crab Jerry, like 5 questions.
So, just so you guys know, you guys will be back in like 3 games or so, so you got plenty of time.